Hi fans of high quality entertainment. I'm going to talk about something called punk rock, whatever that is. I believe the first punk rock album I ever bought was Ramones. The week it came out, I bought it. And I had no idea, at the time, of course, there was no internet back in the 70s. And this was 1976. So, I would just read about this band in magazines and they're punk rock, which sounded kind of scary at the time. So when I bought this, I had no idea if I would like it or not, but I was such a music-obsessed kid that I would buy almost anything. So I bought it. And I loved it right away. Blitzkrieg Bop. What a way to start an album. And I think the very first time I listened to it, and it's such a short album, it's like not even maybe 30 minutes long. And every song was like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. And so I think the first time I listened to it was like, every song sounds the same. and in a way, they kind of do, especially on the first listen. But, playing it over and over, every song is unique. Besides Blitzkrieg Bop, I think my favorites are Beat on the Brat, and I think possibly my all-time favorite is Today Your Love, Tomorrow the World, the final song on the album. But like I said, I became a Ramones fan on the Sire label. So yeah, I was a fan right away. And then their second album came out, and actually a friend of mine, I didn't even know it was out. A friend of mine bought it first, and he wasn't really into punk rock music, but he actually enjoyed it. Ramones Leave Home. Now, the only thing I don't like about this album compared to their debut is I love the raw production of the debut, because you have the guitar on one side, you have the bass on the other, the drums in the middle, and the vocals. And usually, you don't want the bass on one side and the guitar on the other, but for Ramones, I want to call them the Ramones, but it's actually Ramones. At least for this album, it just suited it so perfectly. I'll show you Jinxie. Jinxie is here, don't worry. She's just taking it easy. And speaking of punk rock, I guess about a year after this, the Sex Pistols released their debut album, Nevermind the Bollocks. Here's the Sex Pistols, and I love that. I still love it today. So I do love some punk rock music. Later on there was Green Day. They started out as a kind of a punk band. But all of that, it was just, nothing beats, for punk rock, nothing beats Ramones and Sex Pistols for me. And the Clash, the early Clash had some great punky kind of songs. So overall, I love this. And it wasn't just, it's not just punk, it's like pop punk. And just some of these titles are funny on their own. Gimme Gimme Shock Treatment, Susie's the Headbanger, Pinhead, Now I Want to Be a Good Boy, You're Gonna Kill That Girl, You Should Never Have Opened That Door, and Now I Want to Sniff Some Glue. I took those songs seriously at the time. I really shouldn't have. And this was all in a span of like a year, because this was 1976, and I believe these two are from 77. And Rocket to Russia was just as good as their first two. So they were on a roll. Cred and Hop, Rockaway Beach, Sheena's a Punk Rocker, We're a Happy Family, Teenage Lobotomy, Do You Want to Dance, Surfin' Bird. And then after that was Road to Ruin, which I really liked a lot too, but it was starting to, I'm starting to, lose a bit of interest in them because once you've heard Ramones, you've basically heard them. Not that they're not great, but so I skipped End of the Century, produced by Phil Spector, although I like the song Rock and Roll Radio. And the last Ramones album I bought was Pleasant Dreams, mainly because I had read that Russell Mael Sparks did background vocals on a track or two, which he did. And it was produced by Graham Goldman from 10cc, and it was actually much more pop than punk. They're trying to get more commercial or whatever, and then they released more albums that I never really just had any interest in. But early Ramones I absolutely love. And don't be scared. Don't be scared just because I say punk rock. Because it's fun. It really is. It's humorous, it's loud, it's catchy, and this is definitely, probably, along with the Sex Pistols debut, my favorite punk rock album. And like I said, these two are great too. I'd love your thoughts in the comment section below on Ramones. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.